We are in conversation with a very important guest, Dr. Peter Koerte. He's the member of the Managing Board, CTO, and Chief Strategy Officer of Siemens. And he joins us right now on the show. Well, we call it Siemens, it could be Siemens, but Dr. Peter, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Niraj. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure is entirely ours. It's an unenviable position to be in, yours, because you are strategizing for a large global conglomerate at a point of time when global certainty is anything but certain. How do you view the world and growth from your prism?
Absolutely, you're right. It is one of the best jobs you can have because it's all about technology. So Siemens is in the midst of a transformation into a tech powerhouse that brings all the benefits to industry, to, of course, infrastructure and to mobility, trains. And as such, we are working now in an environment that is very, very agile, where you have to revisit your strategy continuously because of geopolitics, because of new technology trends. So every week there's something new, and it's very important to keep to your strategic priorities.
Most certainly. So, what are the leading technologies that Siemens is pursuing, and what's the difference do you think it makes to the world of various verticals that you might be providing the technology?
Right,
to?
right. So for us, the number two, there's two essentially that we're looking at. So for one, of course, there's AI, but there's the industrial AI side of things.
Okay.
Meaning that we use industrial data in order to improve industrial processes, which really makes factory workers more productive, which makes train more safe, which makes buildings more energy efficient, right? So we bring productivity, energy efficiency, knowledge to, of course, the industrial world. This is what we do, number one. And number two is we build digital twins. So think of Davos, and we can build the digital twin of Davos, but we can also bring it, in the digital world and optimize it. We can see how many people go where is energy needed, where's water consumption happening, where's inefficiencies that actually tech can help us to spot and then really make it better. And this is exactly what Siemens does every day.
So this must be a large market for a lot of industries in various parts of the world, including India, I did imagine. What are your thoughts on the acceptance of some of the stuff that you're doing in large markets like India, and of course India specifically as well?
Yeah. So generally speaking, the technology has to serve the people.
Right.
And so therefore it has to be embedded into technology, no matter how you operate a train, how you actually work with a machine, how you manipulate the controllers of a building. It needs to be super simple. So therefore user experience is something that we bring so that people more easily adapt the technologies that we bring. For India specifically, it's an enormous opportunity because if you think about the many, many people that are not skilled yet today in the Indian economy, if you think about the 60 million small to medium-sized enterprises you have in India, this is a huge opportunity. So we have to bring very simple technology, easy to deploy, easy to plug and play into the existing environments, and then get Indian factories, Indian buildings, that very initial edge that they need.
So I'm guessing some of that work might already be happening in India through you as well,
Yeah.
because Siemens has a very large presence in India as we speak over the years. Talk to us a bit about that market,
Yeah.
and how do you expand there, if you will?
Sure, of course. For us, India is the key growth market. We have more than 24,000 people in India, 2 major innovation hubs. Essentially, every product today that Siemens is shipping is software enabled, and that software has been most likely touched by Indian engineers that do software development. So pretty much India is going through all the offerings that we have at Siemens.
Okay.
But more importantly so, it is a huge growth market. India wants to be, or has the power to become the 3rd largest economy by 2030, wants to increase the manufacturing share from 15 to 25%. And we say that, Siemens needs India for the growth, but India needs Siemens in order to bring the tech that you need to make that leap in productivity and technology.
Yeah, it's a great symbiotic relationship, I'm sure. How do you see India as a market, of course, but too also as India as a market for making in India for the world, both in terms of technology or otherwise?
Right. So generally speaking, first and foremost, the Indian market is so big in terms of its potential that for the next decade to come, there's plenty of demand locally. However, because we know that the Indian economy is very, very frugal, and you have to think about things differently. You have to make them smarter, easier, more cost competitive. And so I have no doubt that a lot of innovations we're going to see in India, they're going to go into the world.
Got it. You are very optimistic on industrial AI, concepts such as industrial metaverse as well. It's a bit of Greek and Latin for a lot of people who don't quite know. Could you tell us why is it that you're so optimistic, and what's the change that this brings to the world, let's say, over the next decade?
Sure. Well, if you think about it, already we spend more than 8 hours in the digital space, which
Right.
is essentially phones and so on. And as engineers, we can spend that time on what we discussed earlier, digital twins. And you can simulate. For example, a car, you can simulate it 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times from different angles. You can look at what is the sun is shining, what if actually it's night, it's snowing, whatever that is. And you can all simulate it to an extent which is so good that you even don't have to build it. So by the time you build it, it's the first time right. And think about the speed and about the sustainability, because all the material that you need to build that car, and that is wasted usually, you don't have to do it because you do it all in the digital space. Think about the time, which is about a third to a half faster. Think about all the new innovation cycles that we can bring into it. We can really bring new cars out there every 2 to 3 years. We really can change the game. That's just cars. We can do it for machines. We can do it for city districts. And that's why we're so excited about the technology.
Wow. I have one last question again. Pardon me for being so India focused, but we are a channel from
Absolutely
India,
understand.
So therefore, trying to understand that. A lot of corporates out there. I mean, energy transition is a big thing. Smart cities is a big thing, although it may be a passé term because it's been used so often. Are corporations increasingly looking to work with you? Are you working with large Indian corporates in order to, with your systems and technologies, in order to make a difference and speed things up, as you said, via the digital twin piece?
Absolutely. So, as you know, we won a major contract for the Indian Railway to supply 9,000 horsepower locomotives, which of course a lot of engineering goes into it, which we actually use AI and digital twins in order to make this work. We work with major hotel chains, for example, from India, to make their operations of their hotels more energy efficient and more competitive. So it's happening almost every day.
Okay, I have one last question, sir. The buzzword around this, aside of Trump 2.0, is AI. Now, I would just love to know, I mean, a lot of people equate AI to something that the internet revolution was in 2000, or maybe even bigger than that. Would you concur, would you differ?
It definitely has the potential, and we have to see now the value that comes through. The world is not about technology, the world is about outcomes, that actually people get more prosperous, more healthy. And so we have to see the benefits of that technology coming through. And as everybody says, 2025 is the year of reckoning, where we see some of these use cases showing their true value.
Dr. Koerte, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you and understand a few things. When you come to India, please do come in to our headquarters. We'd love to talk at a length with you.
It would be my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And viewers, thanks for tuning in.